everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. So glad you joined me today. We're going to do this really cute card tutorial. This is such an easy card to make, and you can make it for any occasion, however you want to. Now, this particular one that I did, I used the Unbound Beauty, I think it's called Unbound Beauty Designer Series paper. Let me pull that pack because it is such a pretty, it is Unbound Beauty. And it is a beautiful pack of designer series paper. And this is what it looks like. And it's so pretty that I actually purchased another pack of it because I know this is going to be a pack that I'm going to use over and over. And it's got some of our new colors like the Petunia Pop and Summer Splash and Pretty in Pink. There's also some Calypso corals, and some berry burst. This is just a stunning pack of paper. Look at that beautiful pink. And the pattern that I chose to use on this card was actually the Petunia Pop, and it was this piece here. And I did that, and I showcased the Petunia Pop cardstock with this by making my card base from the Petunia Pop. And I just used the white ribbon to embellish it. Now this card, the layout, I've heard it called the missing middle. I've heard it called a bridge card. I've heard this card called a lot of different things, but it's so simple and so easy to make, and yet it does make a statement. I even used a piece of our from one of our ephemera packs. It is the new ephemera that Stampin' Up! Now has. Let's see if I can find those, and I'll show you what page they're on. They have come up with, here's our ephemera packs, and they got 4 different packs, and the saying something for everything, fully flowering labels and layers. And I think I used one out of the something for everything. I think that was what the little cake was. And I made this a birthday card. So I stamped with the Petunia Pop ink, just for you, happy birthday. And the just for you is what you're seeing from the front. And that's what makes this card so cute. And you might want to know what stamp sets I used, and I'm going to show you. In our new catalog on page 54, we have Unbound Beauty, and this is a sweet collection. So it comes with 2 stamp sets, 2 dies, embellishments, specialty paper, and designer series paper. And I just showed you that designer series paper. And I used this stamp and this stamp to do my front. And then from here, I used Just for You and Happy Birthday to do my sentiments. So we're going to remake this card today. We're going to use a different color, different papers, and a different stamp set. So let's get started, and let me show you. Before I get started, I want to let you know that if you go to my blog, you can actually print out this little catalog or just view it. And this is the exclusive close to my heart products that Stampin' Up! Is now carrying. Stampin' Up! Partnered with Close to My Heart, and they are carrying quite a few of the Close to My Heart stamps and dies and inks and what have you. So if you go, you will see, once you get over to like page 3, a paper packet and some dots, and you have all the ordering information right here. Here you have maybe a sticker sheet and some solid cardstock. And these are 2-tone, so they're one color on one side and another color on the other, which I think is nice. There's some stamps, some stamp sets and the thin dies. They come together. The prices are very, very reasonable, I think. There are so many. And if you like scrapbooking, Close to My Heart did so much for scrapbooking, and a lot of people got into it because they were into scrapbooking. But now that they did have to sell off their business, Stampin' Up! Came in and said, if you like, we'll partner with you and help you out with pushing your products. So that's what Stampin' Up! Is doing. So if you're interested in looking at this brochure, you can go over to my blog, and I believe it's the last post on my blog. And you can print this out or save it to your computer, whichever. It is in a PDF format. So I just wanted to let y'all know that that is there if you decide you want to take a look at it and be able to browse through what they have because their products are a bit different than Stamping Up. So I thought I would let y'all know that before we get started. Here's that Unbound Love and Flowers of Beauty that's in the suite that I was telling you about that I used on my card. This is such a gorgeous bundle and suite. The suite collection just means that you get everything. And if you don't want everything, there's also a list on that catalog page where you can purchase things individually. But remember, anytime you bundle Stampin' Dies or Stamp and Punch, you're going to save 10% over purchasing them separately. So I thought I would throw that out there so you will know. Now, the stamp set that I want to use today is Spotlight on Nature. I think this is so pretty, and I'm going to be using um, some of the Shamrock. This is such a pretty green. It reminds me of almost like a Kelly green. But for this card base, you're only going to need a 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4 by 7, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So that there is our measurements for that. Now this is all going to be over on my blog, so you don't have to write anything down. But then that's going to fold and give you that little tab right there. You can see there's our little tab right up there on this one. And then our next piece is going to be our piece that's going to come down at the bottom, and that's 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. And that's going to go just like that. Then we're going to need some mats for that. So we're going to need the one for the top mat. And I use Designer Series paper from this is that free pack you can get in the signing up bonus. And that's the Designer Series paper. This comes in all of the colors, the regals, the brights, the subtles, and the neutrals, and also the in colors for last year and this year. And this is this year's colors, as you can see. So I pulled out a piece of the one that matches the Shamrock, and I'm going to glue that right there, and that's 1 1/4 by 4. So let's go ahead and get some glue, and we're going to go ahead and get started on this. And I'm going to use the flowery piece for the top because you can see we have stripes on the underside of that piece. And because this paper, everything matches so beautifully, we can actually use the other side for the bottom. And I thought that would give us just a little peek of difference. And I love stripes and florals together. So this piece is 2 1/4 by 4. And this is we're going to do that side. And see what I mean? How pretty this is going to look with the floral and the stripe. I love that look. So I'm going to bring over my little glue gun, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this. And then I'm going to center this on that bottom piece like that. And then we're going to need a piece for our inside. And our inside piece is just a standard card mat. And I did white. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is just going to fit right in here, just like that. Now you can use Stampin' Seal, you can use your liquid glue, whatever your favorite adhesive is. I'm going to go in with my liquid glue. And I'm going to glue this in. Like so. Making sure I'm keeping my borders nice and even. And now we need to work on that little bridge piece. And I have another piece, a solid piece of the Shamrock. And this piece is 2 1/4 by 4 1/2. So this is going to be our little bridge piece that's going to go. And the best way to do that is put this down, kind of tap it, then close up your top, and then decide where you want this piece. You could do it in the middle. You could do it all the way over to this side or this side, however you see fit. I think this one I'm going to do over to this side. Now, you could do it in the middle and put a circle on top of this and then stamp your image on that. There are so many variables to this card, but I think I am going to bring this over to about here. And the one thing you want to do when you line this up is you want to make sure you're getting it evenly spaced where you want it. So I'm going to use the lines on my designer series paper right here to kind of line everything up. And then I am going to turn this over. I'm trying to decide, do I want to glue it or do I want to stamp? I mean, glue it or put dimensionals on it. I did dimensionals on this one. So I'll tell you what, we're going to do dimensionals on this one as well. So let me grab my little pack of dimensionals. And I know that it needs to go across the bottom, so I'm going to put 3 across the bottom. And I'm going to do 3 across the top. That way I know that nothing is going to show in that empty spot in the middle, because you're going to have that bit of empty spot in between. And you want to make sure that this is on there where you want it. Now, I did go back and put some more of my dimensionals in here because the bottom, you're going to need a little bit more on the bottom. So I'm going to come up to about here and put a couple more. So maybe one here and maybe one right there. Then I'm going to lay that down where I know I want it to live. And I'm going to do a test run and make sure that everything is going to hide behind the cardstock. And that looks really good. All right, again, we're going to tap that down so it's all the way to the bottom of the card. And then we are going to pull off our backers. And if you feel like you need to give yourself a little wiggle room, put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of your dimensionals, and that will make them where you can move them around a little bit before you actually stick them down. That's just a trick of the trade, and you may find that that is something necessary for you. So I'm going to let's close that down again. So I'm going to hold everything nice and clear, I mean nice and still, and I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to come about to here. Oops. Make sure that doesn't shimmy or move on you because you want that nice and straight. This can be the hardest part of this card. I'm going to take this block. This is what I'm going to stamp with in just a minute. And I'm going to lay that right there just to kind of help me hold everything in place. And then I am going to bring this in. Like so. And then I'm going to check and make sure that I'm covered everything, and I did. So now I can go ahead and press that down. Now we need to bring in our white piece, and that's going to be a 2" by 4¼ and this is where we're going to stamp. So the reason I chose the Spotlight on Nature, I needed some leaves. I really didn't want flowers to be that color. And you always could stamp the flowers in your Memento Tuxedo Black and then color your leaves in using your Shamrock. Or you can stamp it to start with in a beautiful Shamrock ink. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring over my ink. And because this is a new ink pad, it's going to be juicy. So I'm going to be very careful and just do a nice little tap. And I'm going to check it out and make sure that it looks good. And then I'm going to bring it to my piece. I'm going to angle it just slightly and stamp. Isn't that beautiful? I love the simplicity of that. That is gorgeous. So close up my ink. I'm going to fan that just a tiny bit and let that dry so I don't smudge it. And these inks usually dry very quickly. And look how beautiful that is. Isn't that pretty? So now all I have to do is put some glue on it and center it onto that piece. And we already have a beautiful card coming together. So I'm going to put my liquid glue on the back of that. Then I'm going to bring it in and center it up on this mat. Give it a press. Press it from both sides. Make sure everything is good. Now we need to do a little greeting or something right here. I think that thanks from this, or you could do the butterfly if you wanted to. I think the butterfly, yeah, he won't quite fit, but that's okay. We can do thanks. This will make a beautiful thank you card. And I'm always needing thank you cards because for my customers, I usually try to send a thank you. So I'm always needing to make some thank you cards. So I'm going to grab a stamp block that will accommodate my thanks. Now you can do this in black if you want to, but I'm going to keep my color coordination going. So I'm going to stamp it in that Shamrock. And then this is going to go, you could do it in an angle if you wanted, which I think would be real cute. Let's do that. I love it. I think that is so pretty. So let's look at our ribbon because we're going to need a little piece of ribbon. And I'm going to grab the Shamrock ribbon because anytime we have new colors, we get new cardstock and new ribbons and usually some sort of gems that are in that same family. Let's do it from the roll this time. So I'm going to tie that over and then pull this back under because we don't need a big piece at all. We just need a slight piece. And I'm going to turn that because this ribbon has a right side and a wrong side. And I want the right side to show. So I'm going to pull that knot up that way and give it a little tug. And then I can cut this off like this and like this. And now we have that little knot bow that we can put right here. And I think that's going to look so cute, just like that. And of course, I always like to attach my bows using a glue dot. So I'm going to pull a glue dot off, just like this. I like to stick it onto my roll and then just bring it right here to my card and press it in. Now, to set this part off, I want to put something else inside, but I want to make sure it hides behind this panel. I also want to use some gems on it, so I am looking into my gems, and I have these 2024, 2026 resin dots, and I have those in the Shamrock. So we're going to use those colors because I think anytime I can do the color coordination, which is what Stampin' Up! Is so famous for, I am going to do it. I'm going to put one there and one down here, maybe right here. And then I'm going to use the larger one and I'm going to put one here and one right there. And look how that pulls everything together. Now what I want to do is I want to find a sentiment in here. And Stampin' Up! Has a brand new stamp set. So if you are a demonstrator, my small business is so great because we can put thanks for being an amazing customer. Or we can use one of these that says made with love. You got great taste. thanks for your order. I think I'm going to go with that for being an amazing customer. That's this one right here. And I know that it needs to be hidden behind here, so I'm going to sit it down and then I'm going to close that down to make sure that that's where I want it, and that's going to work perfectly. So I'm going to grab a stamp block and pick it up. I'm going to leave it sit there while I open my ink pad because I want to kind of keep the general idea of where I want that to live. Ink it and then stamp it. Oops. And then it has this little shopping bag, which is so cute. And I think I want to put that right there, and that will definitely hide. So I'm going to grab another block, pick up this little shopping bag, and put it right here. So cute. And my first person that ordered from me from the new catalog will probably get this as their thank you card because I think it's just so adorable. So you'll have to let me know. I'm going to move all of this stuff out of my way. Which one of these cards do you like the best? A Petunia Pop or the Shy Shamrock? I think it will depend on what your preference and taste are. So many people love this deep fuchsia Petunia Pop color, and then I have my green fans that will love this one. It is a really fast throw together card that looks like you spent hours on it, but as you can see, we put it together in no time flat, and there are so many options to this card. Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is worthy. So until we craft again, God bless and keep you. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.